If the clutter in your home is getting out of hand but starting feels impossible, this video is for you. Instead of vague advice or pressure to get rid of everything, we'll walk through 6 practical zones in your home: the living room, kitchen, wardrobe, kids' rooms, bathroom, and storage, and sentimental. In total, you'll get 45 clear, focused questions that make it easier to figure out what's worth keeping and what's just taking up space. This isn't about perfection or minimalism. It's about making your home easier to live in. You can follow along start to finish or skip to the area that needs the most attention using the timestamps below. Let's make some space one smart question at a time. This is often the busiest, most visible room in the house, which also means it's where clutter piles up fast because everything gets dropped here just for now. So when I declutter this space, I try not to ask, what should I get rid of? Instead, I ask softer, simpler questions like these. Question 1. Do I actually use this item, or has it just been sitting here out of habit? Sometimes we keep things in the living room just because they've always been there. But if it's something I rarely touch, maybe it's a book I'm no longer reading or a blanket no one reaches for, I pause and ask, does this still serve me right now? It's so easy to confuse routine with usefulness. Just because something's been in the same spot for years doesn't mean it still deserves that space today. And letting it go doesn't mean you're careless, it means you're choosing to be intentional. Question 2. Does this still feel like my style, or am I just used to seeing it here? Our tastes change over time. I used to love a certain vase, until one day I realized I only kept it because I didn't know where else to put it. A room should reflect who you are now, not just who you used to be. If something feels off or disconnected when you really stop and look at it, that's a quiet nudge. You don't have to justify releasing it. Question 3. Is someday taking up space? This question changed everything for me. I once held on to a broken lamp for 2 years, just in case we fixed it. But just in case almost always means just in the way. It's a fear-based reason to keep something, not a hopeful one. If I haven't needed it in the last year, I probably won't miss it if it's gone. And if someday I do, I can usually find an affordable secondhand replacement often better than what I kept. Question 4. Do I actually like seeing this? Be honest with yourself. Is that bowl on the shelf there because you love it or because you didn't know where else to put it? I used to keep things tucked in corners or buried under other items, pretending they didn't bother me. But your home should feel like something you're proud to show yourself, even when no one else is looking. Question 5. Am I holding this out of guilt? This one's hard, but here's the truth. Letting go of a gift doesn't mean you don't appreciate the gesture. The love isn't in the object, it was in the giving. You've already honored that moment by receiving it. Now it's okay to decide whether it truly fits your life. If not, someone else might be delighted to receive it next. Question 6. Would I choose to buy this again today? This is one of my favorite questions. It brings me straight back to the present moment. If I wouldn't spend money on it again with who I am now, then why am I giving it space in my home? And if I wouldn't even miss it if it were gone? That's a clear answer. Question 7. Does this area feel calm and spacious or crammed and overflowing? Sometimes it's not about any one item but the overall feeling. When I walk into a room and feel tense or visually overstimulated, I know it's time to check. Are these shelves too packed? Is every surface covered? Grouping items into baskets or trays helps, but only if what's inside them actually belongs there. Question 8. Do I love this or am I just used to seeing it? There's a strange comfort in familiarity. We stop noticing the things around us even if we don't like them anymore. That art print you've had for years, that dusty candle holder. If you walked into someone else's house and saw it, would you admire it or barely notice it? Sometimes we're keeping things simply because we haven't questioned them in a while. Question 9. If this disappeared tomorrow, would I feel relieved or sad? This question is quick but powerful. Imagine it's gone. No explanation, no decision, just gone. Would you go looking for it? Would you miss it? Or would you enjoy having the space back? That first gut reaction says a lot more than we think. Question 10. Does this item support how I actually live or how I wish I lived? This one can feel tender. Sometimes we keep decor or gadgets or fancy things because they fit a version of ourselves we're trying to be. But if I'm not hosting dinner parties every weekend, do I really need 3 serving trays? If I spend evenings curled on the couch in leggings, do I need 4 decorative throws I never touch? Let your home reflect your real life. That's where the peace lives. The living room may be where things land, but the kitchen, that's where things linger. Tiny jars, half-used gadgets, overflowing drawers, they collect slowly, quietly, until one day you realize you're cooking in a space that doesn't feel good anymore. Let's bring some peace back to the heart of your home, not through a big kitchen makeover, but through 10 simple, thoughtful questions. Question 11. Is this still safe to use? Sometimes clutter hides in plain sight like expired pasta, stale spices, or forgotten condiments in the back of the fridge. I used to skip checking dates because it felt tedious, but every time I finally do, I'm surprised by how much space I clear and how much lighter the shelves feel. One small sweep and suddenly the kitchen breathes better. Question 12. Do I even like this flavor? We've all bought a seasoning sauce or marinade because a recipe called for it only to realize we didn't love it. So instead of letting it sit there silently judging me, I ask, am I ever going to use this again? If not, I can let it go and maybe give myself permission not to force flavors that don't fit my kitchen. Question 13. Am I saving this just in case I cook something fancy? There was a time I kept a jar of truffle oil for years. I had one recipe in mind, but never made it. Sometimes we hold on to ingredients for a version of ourselves that cooks gourmet meals every weekend. But if my actual routine is quick pasta and stir fries, that's okay too. Let your kitchen reflect the way you really cook. Question 14. When did I last use this gadget? That waffle maker, that slow cooker, the blender attachment still in the box, if it hasn't been used in months, it's worth asking why. Is it too hard to clean? Do I forget it's there? Was it a trend that didn't stick? Your kitchen shouldn't feel like a storage closet for good intentions. Question 15. Do I have more than one thing that does the same job? Peelers, tongs, wooden spoons. At one point I had 3 of everything just in case. But the truth is, I always reach for the same one. If something's your go-to, the backups are probably just taking up drawer space. Let the extras move on. Question 16. Is this broken? Or am I just avoiding the decision? There's always that one container with a cracked lid or a food processor missing a blade. I used to keep them because maybe I'll fix it. But weeks turned into years. You deserve a kitchen that works, not one full of almosts. Every time I finally let go of a maybe someday item, I never end up missing it. It just frees up space, both physically and mentally. Question 17. Would I notice if this was gone? Instead of asking, should I keep it? I ask, if it disappeared tomorrow, would I even care? If the answer is no, that's clarity. Sometimes we think we're being responsible by keeping something just in case. Letting it go is just the final step. Question 18. Are we actually using all these cups and dishes? At one point, we had over 30 mugs for a family of 4. It felt harmless. Until I was constantly rearranging shelves and washing dishes we didn't need. It's not about limiting yourself. Fewer dishes mean less mess, faster cleanup, and fewer decisions to make every single day. Question 19. Does this item earn its spot on the counter? Counter space is precious. Every item left out becomes visual noise. So I ask, do I use this daily? If not, it goes in a cupboard or maybe out the door. A clear counter makes every morning feel calmer even before the coffee kicks in. Question 20. Am I holding on to this out of pressure or purpose? Some items feel like we should have them. That fancy set of matching bowls, the juicer we never figured out, the knife block with 12 knives but we only use 2. Ask yourself, is this truly helping me or just meeting some invisible standard of what a good kitchen should look like? You don't need a perfect kitchen. You don't need to declutter every drawer today. But a few thoughtful choices made slowly with kindness can shift how your kitchen feels. And when your kitchen feels calm, you feel calmer too. After clearing the kitchen, I like to move into a space that feels more personal, the closet. Because clothes aren't just things. They're memories, identities, and sometimes little pockets of guilt. But here's the truth. You deserve a wardrobe that supports your real life, not one that weighs on you every time you open the door. Question 21. Have I actually worn this lately? If a piece of clothing hasn't touched your skin in over a year, it's worth asking yourself why. Is it hiding behind other clothes? Or is it one of those items you keep meaning to wear but always pass over? Sometimes we hold on to clothes out of habit, not because they serve us anymore. If it never makes it off the hanger, maybe it's time to let it move on. Question 22. Does this fit me as I am now, not who I was 5 years ago, not who I might be 6 months from now, just me today? If putting it on makes you feel uncomfortable, squeezed, or not at ease in your own body, that's a sign. You deserve clothes that meet you, not ones that make you feel like you have to change. Question 23. Do I actually live the kind of life this outfit was made for? I used to keep clothes for lives I wasn't really living. Fancy dresses for parties I never attended. Office outfits for a job I left long ago. And every time I looked at them, I felt a strange kind of pressure, like I had to justify not wearing them. Letting go of those pieces made room for clothes that support my real routines. School runs, grocery store days, evenings on the couch. And honestly, that felt like exhaling. Question 24. Do I feel like myself when I wear this? Some outfits look fine but never feel right. I'd put them on, stare in the mirror, and just feel off. Not confident. Not quite me. When that happens, it's not about the clothes. It's about alignment. If it doesn't feel natural on your body, it's probably not meant to stay in your closet. Question 25. Am I keeping this out of guilt? Maybe it cost a lot. Maybe someone gave it to you. Maybe you wore it once and feel bad you didn't wear it more. But guilt is not a good reason to keep anything. Clothes are meant to be used, to be enjoyed, not to hang like little reminders of money spent or promises not kept. You can forgive yourself and let it go. Question 26. Do I have multiples I never reach for? We all have our favorites, the go-to black tee, the jeans that fit just right, that one hoodie you always grab. But what about the others, the backup versions you never actually wear? At one point, I realized I had 5 white shirts and only wore 2. The others just made my closet feel more crowded and made it harder to find what I loved. Sometimes having fewer options makes getting dressed feel easier and more like you. Question 27. Am I keeping this because I used to love it? Maybe it was your favorite top 5 years ago. Maybe you wore it during a special season of life. But when you try it on now, something feels different. It doesn't fit quite the same. Or maybe you've simply moved on. It's okay to thank a piece for what it meant to you and still let it go. Your past doesn't need to live in your closet. Your closet should be a reflection of who you are today. If you have little ones at home, their rooms can quickly become a magnet for clutter. Clothes they've outgrown, toys they never quite clicked with. Items gifted with love but not really used. And I've learned this, simplifying their space doesn't just help you keep things tidy, it actually helps them focus, rest, and play more peacefully. Here are a few gentle questions I ask when I go through my kids' rooms. Question 28. Have they outgrown this? Growth happens quietly until one day half the drawer is full of clothes that don't even fit over their head. It's easy to miss, especially when life is busy. But taking a moment to check sizing helps avoid the frustration of trying to dress your child in something that simply doesn't work. When I pull out items that are too small, I remind myself, letting go of this shirt doesn't mean letting go of the memory, it just means we've moved on. Question 29. Is this seasonally right? If it's blazing hot outside, but their drawers are full of winter sweaters, it's just adding to the visual clutter. I like to rotate their wardrobe so everything available is wearable today. It makes getting dressed smoother for them and for me. Question 30. Am I keeping this just because it was a gift or hand-me-down? Not every gifted or passed-down item needs to stay. If your child doesn't like it, doesn't wear it, or already has more than enough, it's okay to let it go. Gratitude doesn't mean obligation. Question 31. Do these toys get real focused play or just dumped out? Here's something I noticed. My kids were surrounded by toys, but often didn't really play with most of them. The blocks got spilled, the dolls scattered, but no actual engagement. That's when I started rotating toys. I'd store a few in the closet or a bin up high, and suddenly the toys that were left got so much more attention. Less noise, more connection. Question 32. Do they enjoy wearing this, or do I just like how it looks on them? This one was hard to admit. There were outfits I thought were adorable, but my kids clearly didn't feel comfortable in them. If they're constantly pulling at a shirt or asking to change, that's enough of a signal. Letting the go of the cute but annoying clothes helps build their independence and makes mornings way less frustrating. Question 33. Is this room calming for them or overstimulating? A room doesn't have to be Pinterest perfect, but too many toys, clothes colors, and scattered objects can make a kid's room feel chaotic, even when it's clean. I try to create space not just for walking, but for breathing. Because when their room feels calmer, so do they. And honestly, so do I. The bathroom might be one of the smallest rooms in the house, but it fills up fast. Half-used bottles, old makeup, backup products you forgot you had. And somehow even a tiny counter ends up feeling crowded. These 5 questions help me figure out what's still helpful and what's just hanging around. Question 34. Is this expired or just been sitting here too long? Some products stay in our cabinets way past their prime. If it's been open for over a year and you're not using it, it's probably not something you trust to put on your skin anymore. Letting it go is a simple way to make your bathroom feel fresher and safer. Question 35. Are these towels still useful or just taking up space? It's easy to collect more towels than we need, but if some are worn out, never used, or always pushed to the back, they're just adding to the clutter. Keeping only what you reach for regularly keeps your shelves and routines simpler. Question 36. Is this decor helping or just getting in the way? A few nice touches can make a bathroom feel cozy, but too many little items, they make cleaning harder. If you're constantly moving things just to wipe the counter, it's time to rethink what actually adds value here. Fewer items equals quicker cleanups. Question 37. Do I really need this much backup? Having an extra bottle of shampoo is fine, but unless you truly use them, all backups often become forgotten clutter. You don't need to act like a warehouse. Stores exist for a reason, and they're easy to get to when you actually need something. Question 38. Am I still using this beauty product or just keeping it? Sometimes we buy something new that we love and the old one just gets pushed to the back. We keep it just in case, but deep down we know we're not going back to it. If it's been sitting unused for weeks or months, it's probably time to let it go. You don't need to feel guilty for replacing something that no longer works for you. Decluttering these little bottles clears space not just physically, but mentally. Question 39. Do I actually enjoy using this product? Not everything that's still good is worth keeping. Maybe it smells too strong, feels sticky, or just doesn't work the way you hoped. If you don't look forward to using it, chances are you won't. Let it go and keep only what makes your routine feel simple and enjoyable. Question 40. Is this bathroom easy to clean or do things get in the way? Sometimes the biggest source of stress isn't the stuff itself, but how it slows down your cleaning routine. If every surface is crowded or if you have to move 10 things just to wipe the sink, that's clutter. Clearing the extras makes everyday care quicker and the space feels fresher longer. Decluttering storage spaces isn't just about clearing shelves. It's about facing old plans, old identities, and memories we didn't expect to find. These are the items we tucked away for later or held onto because they felt too emotional to deal with. Here are 5 questions that have helped me make gentler, clearer decisions, especially when it comes to the sentimental stuff. Question 41. Was this for a project I've already let go of? Sometimes we hold on to supplies for crafts, hobbies, or business ideas we've moved on from. If I haven't touched it in over a year and I no longer feel excited about it, then it's okay to let someone else put it to good use. You're not giving up on your creativity. You're just making room for what fits your life now. Question 42. Are we keeping baby gear just in case we had old bikes, a baby swing, and even a travel crib in storage, long after our kids outgrew them? And I had to ask, are we keeping these because we'll use them, or because we feel guilty letting them go? If they won't be safe or needed in the future, passing them on now gives someone else a chance to use them while they're still helpful. Question 43. Does this sentimental item bring comfort or pain? Not all memories are joyful, but some things help us heal. For example, my friend still keeps a folder from my first pregnancy, one that ended in miscarriage. It doesn't hurt to see it. In fact, it helps her remember that experience with love. It's okay to keep items that feel meaningful to you, even if others wouldn't understand. Question 44. Am I keeping this photo or item because I love it or just because it exists? We don't have to keep every picture, every souvenir, every keepsake. If something doesn't spark a memory or connection, it's okay to take a photo and let the physical item go. You're not erasing your history, you're just choosing what to carry with you. Question 45. Is this space full of someday stuff? When every shelf is packed with maybes and memories, there's no room for what you actually use right now. Ask yourself, if I opened this box a year from now, would I even remember what's inside? If not, that's a sign it's time to make space for the life you're living today, not the one you used to live or hope to get back to. That's it, 45 questions across 6 spaces, each one designed to make decluttering feel less overwhelming and more doable. You don't need to answer them all today or tackle every room at once. Just start where you feel the most stuck and trust that small steps still count. The goal isn't to have a perfect home, it's to create one that actually works for your life right now. If something in this video helped shift your mindset or sparked action, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Until next time, keep clearing space for what truly matters.